All right, welcome to lesson 1.2. Our objective today is that I can compare and order integers. All right, so comparing integers. We talked about this in the pre-module review where we were comparing whole numbers to each other. Now we're going to talk about comparing positive and negative numbers. All right, so integers increase, which means they get bigger as you move to the right. So if we start at 0, I know that 5 is bigger than 0, and 5 is to the right of 0. 10 is bigger than 5 and 0, and 10 is to the right of both. So as we move to the right on our number line, our numbers are getting bigger. Same over here. If we have negative 10, that's going to be smaller than negative 5 because negative 5 is on the right of negative 10. 0 is going to be bigger than negative 10 and negative 5 because 0 is on the right. So even on our negative side, as we move to the right, we're getting bigger. So keep that in mind. If it's on the right side of a number in the number line, the one on the right is bigger. Another thing to remember is that positive integers are always bigger than negative integers. If you have $5 and I have negative $5, you have more money than I do because you have money and I owe somebody $5, so I'm negative. If you have $0 and I have negative $10, you have more money than I do because I'm in debt. I owe somebody $10, whereas you just don't have any money. You don't owe anybody, but you don't have any money either. 0 is bigger than negative 10. So, how do we compare integers? Let's start here. We have negative 4 and negative 9. I want to know which one's bigger. So let's put them on a number line. Negative 4, it's right here. Negative 9, it's right there. And I'm going to go ahead and just put dot, dot. Well, we have to look for which one's on the right. Negative 4 is to the right of negative 9, so negative 4 is bigger. So we put in the greater than symbol. Negative 4 is greater than negative 9. Our little alligator friend wants to eat the bigger number. Okay, let's look at negative 10 and 1. Here's negative 10. I'll put an X here and label it negative 10. Here's positive 1. Which one is on the right? Positive 1 is on the right of negative 10, which means that positive 1 is bigger. So we're going to put in the less than symbol. We read this as negative 10 is less than 1. Remember, our little alligator friend wants to eat the bigger number. All right, let's compare 7 and 0. Well, here is 0, 5, 6, 7. Which one's on the right? 7. If we're looking at these two, 7 is on the right, which means 7 is bigger. 7 is greater than 0. All right, lastly, we have 8. And negative 2. So here's 0, negative 1, negative 2. If we're comparing these two, 8 is on the right, and 8 is positive, and we know that a positive number will always be bigger than a negative number. So 8 is bigger than negative 2. So, things you need to remember. Things are bigger on the right, and positive is always bigger than negative. Now, let's talk about ordering integers. All right, on a number line, the easiest way to do it is just to mark each integer. So we're going to order 7, negative 3, 11, negative 6, and negative 10 from least to greatest, or from smallest to biggest. Step 1, we're going to mark each integer on the number line. Start 7, so 5, 6, 7. Negative 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Make sure you put your negative in front of it. 11, so here's 10, 11. Negative 6, negative 5, negative 6. And lastly, negative 10. So here's negative 10. Cool. So we marked each integer. And now we have to decide, are we going from greatest to least or from least to greatest? Well, it tells us we want to go from least to greatest. So we got to start with our smallest one. We got to start with the one on the left. So this is our least, and this is our greatest. So negative 10 is our smallest, so I'm going to list that first. And then I'm just going to move to the right. Next we have negative 6, and then we have negative 3, and then we have 7, and then we have 11. So here's our ordered integers. Negative 10, negative 6, negative 3, positive 7, positive 11. From least to greatest. Done. Now, what happens though if you don't have a number line, or you have numbers like 91 that are too big to put on a number line? The easiest thing to do is to first separate negatives and positives. So I'm going to circle our positives, 58, 13, and 91. And I'm going to order those first. I know we're going greatest to least, so I'm going to start with my biggest integer. 91 is bigger than 58 and 13, so I'm going to put 91 right there. Next we have 58, and then 13. So there's our positive integers ordered from greatest, 91, to least, 13. The next thing we want to do is order our negatives, and we need to do these the opposite direction. So our negatives are negative 44, negative 17, and negative 5. It's really tempting to do the same thing where we start with the number that looks the biggest and goes to the smallest, because we're going from greatest to least, but when we go into negative land, it goes the opposite direction. Remember, the more negative, the smaller the number. So we're going to start with our least negative, in this case, negative 5. And I'm just going to add that next. And then negative 17 is the next smallest, and then negative 44. And there we have it. Positive 91 is our greatest, negative 44 is our least number. So when you order your negatives, don't forget to do the opposite of what you think you should do. 44 looks the biggest, but it's actually the smallest because of that pesky little negative sign. All right, go ahead and tackle your practice. Let me know if you need any help.